Hey wild ones, I'm Lucy and this is Pussy Powered. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a brief and absolutely fundamental tool for communicating your boundaries. This is something that's been clicking deeper and deeper for me personally as we're exploring more of the world of kink, and in particular, after Ryan, my husband, and I had an incredibly profound experience at this immersive event called Eros and Kink that was put on by Kimmy Inch and Casey Neal. I'm going to include a link to Kimmy's work in the description below so you can check out more on what she does. All right, so let's get right into it. Many of us are aware that we need to establish our boundaries. We need to know what our boundaries are. We need to communicate them with our partners or the people in our lives. And we need to be aware of when people are overstepping our boundaries or vice versa. But what we don't hear nearly enough about is what to do when you have a certain boundary and your partner has a certain need, or vice versa, you're the one with a certain need. Many of us also know that compromising does not work. When you compromise, both of you forfeit what you actually want and what your heart actually needs in order to find some kind of mushy middle ground where, well, at least we're meeting each other halfway. But that never actually works. And while that may appease you in the moment and like get the other person off your back or vice versa, what that actually does long term is create more disconnection, resentment, blame, even contempt. So what can we do instead? We can maintain or create connection with radical honesty and negotiation. Here's what I mean. I've heard several times now within people in the kink world how until you fully own your no, you cannot own your yes. If you are too afraid to say no when you mean no, then your no and your yes cannot be trusted. Even if the other person doesn't know that you don't fully mean hell yes or hell no, they feel that in your energy. It is a palpable thing that we can't rationalize or fake. So within the space of radical honesty, check in with yourself. The boundaries that we establish, the energetic boundaries, the physical boundaries, the verbal boundaries, whatever specifics your boundaries entail, are not set in stone. You get to decide what you are okay with at any given moment. For example, I may have discussed with my husband that, oh my God, I really want to be choked during sex today. Like I want you to just take control and ravish my body and play around with controlling my breath. All right? I can be totally a hell yes to that at that experience, and then today, for whatever reason, maybe I'm in a very different headspace today, my body has different needs, I have different emotional needs today, and I'm just not down with that today. It's up to me to communicate that. If I just sit back and take it and tolerate it, he can sense that something is off, he can sense that I'm not a full hell yes, my body is closed up, the whole experience is kind of shot, unless we recognize that resistance and we address it and we make a shift. So along the lines of practicing radical honesty, and I call it radical because we are so used to just bullshitting ourselves and tolerating things that we actually don't want. So it takes practice to even connect with what you actually want. And your body has its telltale signs. Listen to your body. Okay, so back to it. Something you can practice with your partner is asking for consent. Consent is so fucking sexy. When you know that that person is a hell yes and not just a maybe, but just go ahead and do it to me because I'm so afraid to disappoint you and that you're gonna leave me and I'm gonna die alone. That is not sexy. That is not a turn on, and that is not connection. That is bullshit. So what you can do is practice asking for really small things that maybe don't have a whole lot of emotional weight and history behind them. For example, sitting across from each other, you can take turns making requests. Again, simple, non-heavy requests, even silly requests. Definitely, please be playful with this. Be lighthearted about it. Be open in your heart and in your mind. So in fact, along those lines, practicing having a playful, lighthearted energy about making your requests will go a long, long, long way for you long term. So for example, may I touch your nose? Yes, you may touch my nose. May I pick boogers out of your nose? No, you may not pick boogers out of my nose. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Literally something as simple and silly as that will help you to get those gears turning and practice giving a full yes. And by the way, keep in mind that a maybe is still a no. If it is not a hell yes, if you have not found a version of this scenario that is a hell yes, then it is a no. Something to remember as you explore the next step. So as I mentioned earlier, compromise does not work for either people. What do we do instead? We negotiate. In a negotiation, instead of coming to some middle ground where neither people are actually getting their needs and their heart's desires fulfilled, instead what you do is keep asking clarifying questions and making new invitations, new versions of invitations, exploring new possibilities until both people find a hell yes. This is something that we experienced so much painfully in our marriage, and that I see so many other people struggling with in their relationships, where one person musters up the courage to make the request for sex, and then they're completely shut down, feeling rejected, feeling not enough, feeling resentful, feeling empty, all because they did not know how to negotiate. For example, hey, wanna have sex tonight, babe? I've got a headache and I've gotta get up early tomorrow, so no. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Is there something that you would be open to doing together? Well, actually, yeah, I would love to just sit down with you and be held by you and feel your arms around me. Is that something you would like to do? Yeah, I would love to do that for you. And see, what happens here is that this partner doesn't feel pressured to have sex or force herself to get into that mood when she's just not. And this partner isn't feeling rejected. He's able to not take it personally and explore what other possibilities there are for connection and intimacy. And not only that, meeting her where she's at may actually lead to the ultimate thing that he initially asked for, which is, in this case, sex. In fact, this very same scenario has happened in our relationship more times than I can count, where he has met me where I am and I'm just not feeling it. I'm not in the mood. Man, do not even come at me with any potential sex talk. And when he was willing to meet me where I was, it was like a breath of fresh air, like I could exhale emotionally. And often what ends up happening when that happens to us is I do become more open to considering, oh my God, okay, maybe we can do some more sexy stuff. I feel so seen and so met and so accepted and loved. I want to also show my care for you. And in that moment, I can make an invitation to him with something that would be a hell yes for me to give. I know there's a lot more to this, a lot more nuance, a lot more just things that you've got to feel through than what I can justly communicate in this video. But what I really hope to leave you with in this video is the importance of being radically honest with your yeses and your nos, and your willingness to negotiate and become a more skillful negotiator. Let me know in the comments below what you're taking away from this video and what you're looking forward to incorporating into your life. And if you want to go deeper on your journey of self-mastery and sexual self-mastery with guidance and support, feel free to check out what's available at pussypowered.me. Alright, wild ones, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with some friends, and subscribe for more on sexual healing and empowerment for women. In the meantime, here's to your awakening and your pleasure for a pussy-powered life.